Cool. And just like that, we're going to go ahead and jump in. I'm here today with a good buddy. I've wanted him on the podcast for a long time. He's actually one of the big inspirations for me to kind of jump over the edge and actually start a podcast. We had a great talk last time. He was in Spokane. I got to hang out with him a little bit. I'll just get down to it. His name is Jacob Stokeham, also known as Auraicle. He is a luxury designer, seller, dealer. He's the plug for everybody you know, athletes, people you see on TV, Instagram, influencers, everything they're wearing and they have on them, the accessories and everything, probably got from him. And he's out here chasing his dreams, living in LA, doing it big, and he's just an inspiration living his dream. So I wanted to talk to him about the process, what life is like, what the change in life has been like from like regular to jumping off the bridge and seeing your dreams flourish and come to real life. And yeah, just here to talk all about it and see how you're doing. Thanks for coming on, man.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. Man, once the camera gets rolling, did you get a little nervous? You get the stage fright.
Yeah.
I've wanted to do a podcast for a while. I feel like there's a lot of things that I do and things to talk about that I think people could hear. And I express myself on Instagram pretty hard. So like you'll see, I don't just post designer, but I also post like my day-to-day stuff. That way people can get like a sense of who's behind the brand, you know, versus just like just selling products, taking people's money, this and that. Like I want it to be a more personable experience. So coming on here, I think will be good for those people, for people that don't know who I am. And I just think that like the stuff that we'll talk about is definitely stuff that people want to hear. So starting out, where do we start? So I originally was like going to like thrift stores, right? And
is this in like high school? How far back is this?
I would say probably like 7th grade. I would say is like when I kind of got into it. Maybe like probably 7th grade. I went out. So I was playing the kendama. You know, you'll see me do that on my videos and shit. So I was playing kendama, and I had this friend who lives in Seattle, and so he are we allowed to cuss on this thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Okay. So he was we met on Facebook, right? And we were just like the little fucking pen pals, right? So we were playing kendama, taking videos, like sending each stuff like back and forth. This was like right when like Snapchat and all that shit was coming out. So we were like sending each other videos of playing kendama, and he was like, "Dude, you should come to Seattle and like we'll play kendama together."
Hell yeah.
So my mom, shout out to my mom, she bought me a Greyhound bus ticket.
Nice.
And at the time, that was a lot of money for us, you know, 100 bones for Jacob to go to fucking play kendama was a lot, right?
Did you go out there by yourself?
Yeah, when I rode the Greyhound bus by myself, Isaiah and his mom show up. This is the first time I meet him. They show up to the station, pick me up, right? We're hanging out, doing all this shit. Long story short, we were hanging out in his room, and at the time, Supreme was getting like super big, right? And so he had a Supreme bag on his wall, and I was like, dude, what the fuck is Supreme? Like, I've never heard of this. Like, I don't know anything about it. And I guess it actually wasn't really big at the time, but it was like on the up and ups, and like Seattle usually gets all that kind of stuff first.
Yeah,
so like
sure.
it'll make its way to Spokane. So anyways, I saw the Supreme bag, and he's like, dude, you got to check this out. Like, they do these drops, like it's like limited clothes, this and that. And so I ended up like doing random things where I'd like go to the thrift stores, and I would buy like vintage clothes, and I would sell them on like this Instagram page. I'd sell it like on Grailed and eBay and random places.
Yeah.
And I would do that to buy Supreme because I wanted to have Supreme. And so that was kind of like my first jump into selling, just really selling anything, you know. Like I basically transitioned from like the whole kendama thing to like doing something that like was more personable for me, I guess, because the kendama thing was cool, but it didn't, like, it was a toy. Like, what the fuck, I'm not gonna play with a toy for the rest of my life.
Right.
And so started buying and selling the clothes, and I would like wear Supreme to like school, and everyone was like, dude, what the fuck, like that shit's crazy. Like I'd had a shirt that had like a fucking, it was like a girl sitting down with like a dude's hand on her leg, right? And I wore it to school, and everyone was fucking tripping. Like people couldn't figure it out, and this is way before like Supreme and all that. You couldn't
get that at Target.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What the hell
and people were,
this?
they were tripping. So I definitely was mad into Supreme, right? And so I would buy and sell that, and then I kind of started to transition into selling bait, because like I was like, Supreme was starting to get a little washed up for me, and like mad people started wearing it, and it wasn't like more like I was saying personable for me anymore.
Yeah.
So I got into Bape. I moved to Seattle, and this was like right after high school, like a little bit after high school, and so I was in Seattle. And yeah, just slanging the Bape, right? And we would I would like go to like conventions and like set up like little tables, and I had like 5 hoodies, and I had literally nothing, but I was trying to do something. And then I met Tia. Her name's Tia Hall and Anastasia. They are like 2 of my dearest friends, but I meet them at this event, right? And they just were they were like the coolest. Like Tia's always been like way ahead of everyone, and like the whole like the fashion, the sneakers, all that shit, right? So I meet them, and we became really good friends, and she like super motivated me to get to like do something and like take this like super serious, right? So I was still working like shitty jobs. I was working at Albertsons. I was a dishwasher at a retirement home. I worked at a clothing store. I was doing construction for a little bit. I mean, I was all over the place, right? I was just trying to make it, right? And so Tia was a huge inspiration. Shout out to Tia, actually. She has 2 sneaker stores in Seattle now. So if you're in Seattle, make sure you guys check her out. Yeah, so huge inspiration from her. My living situation in Seattle ended up getting kind of fucked up after like 2 years, and so I ended up moving back to Spokane, and that's when like I didn't have a job, I didn't have anything. I was just trying to make it in the resale world, right? So I started taking the resale thing like super serious, and that's when I started to transition into designer. So I was selling a little bit here and there in Seattle, and then when I moved back to Spokane, I was like doing it full time. I wasn't really selling clothes anymore. I was just designer, and I was like trying to buy and flip. I was getting 2 wallets, then I'd get 5 wallets, then I'd get 30 wallets, right? And I would like start small, but I was like working my way up. And then through all of this, I happened to go to a glass event in Oregon. I was like into like the bongs and shit, right? So we went to a glass event, and this famous glass blower, his name's Darby. He's like one of the best in the game. Like if you're familiar with like heady glass, you know who Darby is. So anyways, my buddy was buying a piece from him, and he looks at my shoes and was like, dude, those are like badass. You're wearing off-whites. Like those are sweet. Like my sons would love those. And I was like, well, who's your sons? And they're like, oh, they're just trying to like make it in the resale world. They're 2 twins. Like they're trying to sell like the sneakers and stuff. And I was like, well, I sell designer. Like that, like what, you know what I mean? Like let's fucking be friends. And so he took a picture of my shoes, sent it to the twins, and the twins ended up reaching out, and we started going to sneaker cons together. So when I moved to Spokane, I was like trying to make it in the resale world. They were already doing it big as fuck. They got big quick. And what were you saying?
I just said, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm over here fucking rambling. Everyone's like, Jesus Christ, when is he gonna let fucking Elijah talk? Anyways, we started going to sneaker cons, doing it big with that. And then they were like, dude, you want to move to LA? And I was like, fuck, dude, like I have like $1,000 in my bank account. Like, what are we gonna be paying in rent? You know, how much is it gonna cost? That place is fucking expensive. And they're like, dude, let's just send it and we'll all make it work. Like we'll figure it out, you know? And that's kind of what happened. We packed up one day, and we mobbed out to LA, and fuck, the rest is history.
Damn. What all did you bring to LA with you?
I fit it all into like a big like Infinity or something, dude. So I mean, it was in like a big SUV, so it wasn't a ton of shit, right? I didn't have a fucking bed. I didn't have I had like nothing, right? I had like 3 duffel bags, like 3 LV duffel bags. I had maybe like 20 wallets, a couple Bape hoodies because I was still trying to get out of that, and I had really nothing at all, and like $1,000 in my bank account, and that's what I had, you know.
Damn, just a dollar and a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And then you met. It's so crazy that you just happened to stumble across the dad of these 2 kids that ultimately like changed the trajectory of your life. Like who knows where you would be right now. Obviously, like I've heard it before where it's like people with enough drive and dedication are going to get to wherever they're going to be eventually, but like it's these little breaks here and there and the certain people that you meet that are just going to help you elevate a little bit quicker. And like I'm sure, because obviously you've wanted this since, you know, middle school, you're going to get to where you were eventually, but like stumbling across this dad that sees your shoes and has these kids that are already in the game and going to help you elevate, like the chances of that are so fucking minuscule.
No.
It's so crazy that it's been what it was just from meeting the right person.
100%. Yeah.
Nuts. But yeah, it's so crazy that you can just meet the one person, and then it just steers your life in a completely different direction. How was it like breaking, like before all the knowing these guys were successful? How was it just like moving in with two basically randos? I mean, yeah, I'm sure you were friends for a little while, talking about your business and what you wanted it to be, but like, did you really know them personally before you even like moved in with them?
I think the transition was actually pretty easy because we would go to sneaker cons and we would get fucking drunk and do like hood rat shit and like fucking ride scooters around. And so we became like brothers very quick, right? So I mean, it from us meeting to us moving to LA, we definitely like we didn't see each other all the time, but like I would fly out to Oregon and I'd go hang out with them and all their buddies, and then we'd go to sneaker cons in random cities, and so like the transition to fucking us living together like really wasn't that bad. Like it made it pretty smooth, you know. And they actually, it was weird how it worked out because another crazy yeah, I don't know if these beers are a good idea, dude. I don't know if we're fucking burping and shit. But another weird, like, fun fact or whatever the fuck is, we were actually at a sneaker con in LA right before we moved there, and we were in line at Supreme. The twins wanted to like get a bunch of Supreme or whatever to sell at the time, and this big buff motherfucker, dude, like probably 6'3", like shit brick house, 300 pounds solid muscle, right?
Yeah.
The biggest, strongest guy, right, sees the twins' parents, Darby and Leela. They see their dog Chewy, and he sees him, and he's like this big guy, and instantly just breaks character and is like, oh my god, like the puppy, blah blah blah, right? And so we were like, dude, like you're cool as fuck, like whatever, you know. So we exchanged info. Well, he became close with us during this whole process, and I know I'm skipping a lot of details because it's such a short period of time, but long story short, he became really good friends with us too, and we all got close, and so he was like our in to LA. Like he was like, dude, this spot next to me just opened up. I have another room in my spot. You guys should come to LA. And that's when the twins reached out and were like, dude, let's go to LA. And I was like, holy shit. So we're going to go move in with the Supreme security guard, and you're going to live across the hall and have your guys' own spot, and I'm going to be with him. And it was so funny how it worked out. And then we all just got super close. I moved in with him, and yeah, so another random coincidence. I think that me moving to LA was like fucking fate or something, because without their dad seeing my shoes, and without the security guard seeing the dog, it wouldn't have lined up. We wouldn't have had a place to go in LA, and we also wouldn't have had a reason to go to LA, you know?
Damn, who would have thought fucking a dog and one pair of shoes?
I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Like sometimes even just me talking about it right now, it makes me realize how ridiculous it is that I somehow ended up from going to this small podunk town to going to one of the biggest cities in the world, you know?
Yeah,
and
where dreams are made. Hollywood's always been where dreams go to live and die.
Yeah.
It's storybook.
Yeah.
It's storybook
yeah,
right there.
got it on the arm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Hollywood's the shit. But yeah, it's so funny how it worked out, and I'm forever grateful. I owe a lot of people a lot of credit, starting with Isaiah that I played kendama with. He's knows more about fashion than anyone I've ever met. So whether it's designer, whether it's vintage, whether it's fucking shoes, anything. I mean, he's been ahead of the curve for a crazy long time. He has a cool like a vintage page that he's been crushing it on, and he sells vintage full time now. So without him, without Tia and Anastasia in Seattle, without the twins, I wouldn't be here. You know, I owe that like 4 to 5 people like a shit ton of just kudos and thank yous, because that, like, again, without them, I there's no way I'd be where I'm at. You know, like that support team was insane. So
yeah,
shout out to you guys for watching.
Shout out to them. That's awesome to meet those people along the way, but also like shout out to you, because without that dream and the drive and the dedication, it could have all just fizzled out. But I mean, it's the working, it's the being in the right place at the right time, it's being in Oregon, taking that trip, it's being, you know, at that Supreme line. You had to dedicate that time and the money and put the effort in to be there and put yourself in that position to meet the right people. So like, a lot of people might be on the outside looking like, oh man, he's lucky. Only if he ran into these guys and they helped him elevate. And like, you can look at it like that, but also like they weren't where you were. they could have met that person if they went and took that leap. So it's all about just like fucking jumping off and then hoping for the best. And you know, you caught some good cards and you played them right, and you know, you hit the fucking jackpot so far, it looks like.
Yeah, like it's I'm very, very fortunate. I think another huge part of that is just like me being a people person, right? My mom and my grandparents, they just taught me how to talk to people, how to appreciate people, how to not burn bridges, how to build these relationships, and know that like these people are friends, but you guys can like benefit from each other. You know, like you guys both have shit to offer in life, whether it's something you meet at a store, something you meet at a fucking Supreme line. Like there's always something that you guys can offer to each other. So like be friends with everyone. I try to be 100% cool with everyone. I try to build as many connections as I can, because yeah, not only are these people friends, but like we can like use each other. You know, like we have like these things about everyone that you can find it, and it's huge, you know. And it's little things like shoes and having common interests and being able to talk to people and make people feel comfortable, and like, you know what I mean. It's just, I think that definitely contributed to where I'm at, is just me being a people person for sure.
Yeah. What's been like one of the biggest setbacks or hardships or like failures that you've encountered in this process the past couple of years?
That's a good question. I think one thing that really sucked ass for me was when I was living in Seattle, and I was doing a photo shoot at a Gasworks park, right? I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yeah.
And I was doing a photo shoot there, so I had like a bunch of like my Bape shit and all that. And my buddy wanted me to go to his house because he was having like a birthday dinner, right? So I went to his house and I ended up crashing there, right? Well, my dumbass left all my clothes that I was taking a photo in the car outside. And then I come back and of course the window's broken and all my shit's gone, you know? Fuck. So I think at the time, because I didn't really have any money and I was working at a retirement home, and I like, that was really all I had, you know, like, because not only was I wearing it for a photo shoot, but I was also trying to sell it too. So for that to get all taken, I think that was one of the bigger setbacks for me for sure. That really killed me.
Damn. How did you kind of bounce back from that? What did it take? How long was it like looming in your head of just like hating the world and hating that fucking person?
It took a while. I definitely like, I couldn't blame anyone but myself. You know, I can't point the finger just because, yeah, like stealing's not fucking cool. Fuck stealing, right? But it's my dumbass leaving my shit in the car. Like I know better than that. And I should have went down and grabbed it, brought it upstairs and brought it back down the next morning, you know? Yeah. So I there's no one to blame but me. But I definitely was super bummed out, and that was a setback for sure. You know, at the time it fucking killed me, but yeah, here we are. So it is what it is. Now I look at it like, oh, it's a couple hoodies, fuck it, you know? Yeah. But back then, like that was all I had, you know?
Yeah. So on the other hand, what was like the biggest, at what point did you realize like, oh fuck, like I made it? Like what was that biggest turning point, the biggest success that you had early on?
I think that when the security guard, his name's Owen, I think that when Owen, me and the twins and T and Anastasia, we all built this page. It started with me and the twins, and then we brought on Owen when we moved to LA, and then we brought on T and Anastasia, right? So we had this Instagram that we made, and it was called Subset Aura. So the sup was from, or no, what do we call it? Oh yeah, it was Subset Aura. Okay, so the sup was because Tia's page was SupFed. And for any like OG clothing people, if you guys know who SupFed is, like, you know, like that's how you know your shit. So anyways, fucking Tia had the SupFed. So we had Sup, and then the twins, their page was Sunset Sneakers. So we did Sup, Set, and then my Instagram was Oracle, or actually I think at the time I had Bape Aura, which was when I was selling clothes. So we put it all together and we made Subset Aura, and that was like a raffle page, right? So we basically, what we did is I gotta be careful what I say because it's technically like it's like super frowned upon to do this, but whatever. Anyways, what we would do is we would have like 10 slots, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say the shoe or the designer bag or whatever it was $1,000. Out of those 10 slots, each person buys $100 slot, right? And then we go on the random generator and we randomly generate like one of the numbers, right? And so somebody in that group of 10 would get the $1,000 shoe or the bag for $100, right? And I think that is when I started to realize that like this is gonna get big, you know. Like I think that we might actually like have something here, you know. And I think that was when it was like the turning point. And I think everyone that was on the page will definitely agree with that. Like that took us from like good to like really good, you know. We were cranking out numbers. I mean, there was nights that the twins were doing like 50 shoes, you know. And these aren't cheap shoes. These are like the hype shit, you know. So, and I was crushing out bags and wallets, and I mean, we were doing so many of these, right? So I think that was the turning point for when we all started to realize that there's something here for sure.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That team effort, but it's nice that you guys all got together, and if one person succeeds, then everybody's succeeding and like helping and feeding off of each other.
Yeah.
I always hate to see if like somebody close to you or in your circle does well, then everybody else gets jealous and is like, fuck, that should have been me. I hate that mentality. But you get in with the right people with the right mindsets, and then like I said, if you eat, then everybody eats, and then vice versa. So that's fucking sick.
That's one thing I like about LA, I feel like, is that jealousy thing doesn't really exist. Like everyone is in their own fucking world, and they're trying to make it, or they made it, or they got something going, right? Versus the small town vibe, right? If one person starts to take off, like someone like you or me, right? We start to actually do something bigger than the small town, right? Everyone wants to hate, because they're not only like, damn, like I can't believe he gets to do what he wants, and he gets to wake up whenever he wants, and he doesn't have to have a boss and all that shit, right? They start getting jealous and pissed off, you know, and they like throw shade or whatever, you know. So that's one of the things I liked about going to LA, is that like that jealousy thing of like, whether it's your friend or someone on the outside looking in. I think that the whole like the jealousy thing I don't really see that in LA, you know. Like everyone kind of seems to be like in their own world, you know, just trying to make it. So definitely like that about getting out of here for sure.
What's your favorite food in LA? What's your favorite restaurant down there?
Favorite food?
I see you. And also I wanted to bring up earlier, I do like your Instagram a lot, and like you said, it is very personal and like very opinionated, and you like what you like and you hate what you hate, but you also post a bunch of your food on there, and I'm like, holy fuck. Yeah. Most of it's fucking art. I would hate to even eat it.
Yeah, there's
like,
been some crazy
what's
spots.
your go-to spot? And then what's like the favorite, best of the best that you've been to?
Fuck, dude, that's such a good question, because LA has so many restaurants. I think that I really like this place called Barton G, which I think I told you about, the one that has all like the crazy props and shit, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think Barton G is a good one. My favorite, and that's like a good date spot. So if you're trying to go on a date, or you're trying to like take your family, like for the wow factor, for someone that like has never been there or whatever, or like maybe is visiting LA or whatever, that's like the wow factor. So if you're looking for wow, Barton G is the one. I think for go-to, just fire bomb ass food, that's just like my favorite, right? That I'll go any fucking day of the week. I don't care what day, I don't care what time, is Matsu. And I think you guys went.
Is that the sushi joint?
Yeah. You guys went, right?
Yeah,
okay.
We did.
Yeah, so that place is Chef Nobu's original restaurant. So before all the Nobus, the Nobu hotels, all that shit, he had Matsu. That place is just killer. I mean, everything on the menu is way too fire. The dessert's crazy fire. So I'd probably say Matsu is the one for sure.
That's a good too.
Yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's tight. Man, just to have all those options in Spokane, there's like 6 decent places, and the rest of them are just like franchises, or just, you know, it sucks.
Yeah, that's definitely one of LA's strengths. That's for sure, is having just fire ass food, dude. Like the food trucks, all the little taco stands on the side of the roads, dude, and shit.
I'm probably more jealous of that too. Like, because sometimes that's the best food there is.
100%. That shit is so fucking good. Like, oh my goodness. But yeah, dude. LA life, fucking bouncing back and forth to Spokane. Come here to see family. Come here to work sometimes. And see all my friends. Fucking go out, do whatever. Go bowling. That's like one of my favorite things to do out here, is just go bowling.
Yeah,
fucking love it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
I just seen on your story. Where were you guys yesterday, doing zip linings and going through the woods and stuff like that?
So my mom got me this gift card like 5 Christmases ago. It was like a little voucher, right? And so it's this place in CDA. It's like when you pass the resort and you kind of go around the lake as you're starting to maybe start to go like to some cabins, and it's like this little pull off that you'd never fucking see. But they have like their main office and like the shops, right? And like right there in the main drag of fucking CDA. And so you go in there, they get you harnesses, they take you on a little shuttle, and they take you up there, and there's these fucking monster zip lines. There's 7 of them total. And you're walking across bridges, and some of them you're going like 50 miles an hour on. Dang. I mean, that place is fucking tits, dude. I love that place.
It's so fucking crazy to see you wearing $3,000 pants and Louis Vuitton shoes in the fucking jungle. What the hell are you doing, dude?
Yeah, 100%. Everyone always says that to me. I'm like, it's all I have. I don't have like a beater set of anything, you know. And when I spend, fun fact, this pair I'm wearing right now is actually 7. And when I spent 7 for these, like I told myself, I was like, dude, if I'm having a $7,000 pair of pants, I'm 1,000% gonna wear them all the fucking time. Like, I don't care if I'm in the jungle, I don't care if I'm in New Zealand, I don't give a fuck where I'm at. I'm just gonna be rocking my shit because I spent way too much money to not be just stomping it, you know.
And that's 7,000, by the way, not 700, $7,000
for a pair of pants. It's outrageous, you know. I went on a little buying spree for a while. I have, I think, 6 pairs now. And
they're Chrome Hearts pants, right?
All of them, yeah, Chrome Hearts. So definitely an addiction I needed to chill the fuck out on, because it got a little out of hand, and now I have a nice, like a Tesla worth of fucking pants.
Jesus
Christ. And no Tesla. So
a nice Tesla too.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I just, fuck me. But
yeah, I respect that. You have them, might as well wear them.
Yeah, 100%. Same with the shoes too. Like, I fucking the shoes too. I they're comfortable. I like the way that they look, and I have fucking a bunch of pairs. So I'm like, you know what? I'm rocking these. You know, whether it's fucking, I don't give a shit. I'm at the club and people are stomping on them. I guess that's how we're getting down.
I think my new favorite pair of your shoes, I pretend like your closet's mine sometimes, but your red, white, and blue Louis Vuitton shoes, those are fucking clean.
Yeah, it's so funny. That might be
the coolest pair of shoes I've seen.
Really?
For some reason, they just strike me a lot.
That's so funny you say that, because I got those in, right? And it's like not my favorite pair by any means, but I posted them, and I had so many fucking people reach out and be like, dude, that pair's so sick, blah, blah. And I'm just like, fuck, dude, like, hey, I'm glad you guys all like these. You know, that's cool that you like those ones, because, yeah.
But to you, it's just another pair of shoes.
Yeah, to me, it's just, they're, I'll throw them on for a picture sometimes. I'll throw them on to go to a dinner or something. But yeah, to me, it's like everything's for sale. Everything has a price tag. If someone walked up to me and offered me 10 for these pants, like, I'll take them off and I'll go pantless. I don't give a shit. Like, right there.
Fuck
100%.
Dude, that's crazy.
I actually did get an offer on these pants for $8,500, I think. And I was like, I'm not selling these, no shot. If I'm not getting much. 10, I'm not selling them.
Oh my God.
I'll just keep them forever then. I don't give a fuck.
That's fucking nasty. That's so cool.
You see that from my story of that fucking dude?
That, I know exactly who that dude is too. I went in there one time. And Allie's girlfriend was there too. She literally got pink eye the next day. I'm pretty sure from that dude shaking his ass right in front of her face.
Whoa. That's
probably
crazy.
Not just because like I don't know how that works scientifically, but that's just hilarious. You got a fucking boy shaking his butt in a thong right next to your fucking mouth.
So
she gets pink eye the next day.
So
like,
fucking
Jesus
whack.
Christ.
Wearing like nipple tassels and like fucking like have this weird ass like strap on fucking like no, hell no.
Not for me.
No, facts.
Not for me. Some people are like, yeah, it's a fun vibe, and I'm like, it's not my vibe. Yeah, I'll tell you that much.
I don't even know why I went.
It's crazy. Spokane's got a long ways to go before it's something cool.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, let's get right back into it. So tell me, being successful, being ahead of this page, it's crazy that it's right on like technically it's just like this Instagram page, but realistically it's like it's your way of life, it's an identity, it's a business, it's somewhere people go for entertainment, it's somewhere people go to shop. It's like all this in one, but to you it's like your life. Tell me, like, walk me through a day in your life, just from like waking up out of bed, your morning routine, a day at work, maybe what you do for fun at the end of the day to wind down, and then just do it all again tomorrow. What's a day looking like for a fucking dream chaser?
All right, so I wake up at like 8 a.m., usually like 8:30, and then I'll hop in the shower, I'll get ready, and then I will run downstairs usually around like 11:30. I'll run downstairs. That's when FedEx shows up with like all my inventory. So I'll go grab all that. There's a Starbucks down in my lobby, so I'll go get some fucking Starbucks real quick. I'll go upstairs, and I will unbox all my shit, and I'll like inventory it all. I'll like make sure everything's authentic, do all that kind of shit, right? And then I'll run a story sale. I usually do the story sale around like 12. I try to do one, and I try to do one of those almost every single day of the week. Not on weekends usually, but mostly like Monday through Friday. I'm doing one every day. So I'll take pictures of everything. I'll do the full story sale, and then after that, usually that'll be done around like 2. And then I will like be responding to DMs. I'll be like messaging people, sending people like pictures, all that kind of shit, right? So when something sells, I'll write down their name, I'll set it on the item, and then I put it aside and rinse and repeat, right? And then after that, I end up it'll be like 3, 4, or 5, whatever. I'll go grab some dinner, usually I go by myself, but sometimes I'll like go with like a friend or something. And then after that, I will, what am I doing next? Usually probably just coming home and kicking it, maybe a comedy show or a Laker game or the Dodger game.
Casual.
Yeah.
Casual Lakers game.
Big Laker fan. I'm a huge Laker fan. Got the Staples Center tatted on my elbow. The Laker season's getting ready to start. I think the first game's on the 20th, so I'll be there, and I'm going to try to go to, I went to 31 games last year, so I'm going to try to hit like right around the same, almost every home game.
God.
Yeah, so try to squeeze that in there, and rinse and repeat throughout the week. And then the weekends I'm hanging out, and then Sundays I package up all the orders and they go out Monday, and then the Monday through Tuesday through Friday orders go out Friday. So package everything up, send everyone their tracking, load it all up into a bunch of boxes. I'm shipping like 100 to 150 items or packages a week. Dang. And I actually, my good buddy Sherwin, he lives with me, or he lives in the same building as me, and he is one of the coolest people I know. And he gives me, I have like a set of his keys, so he lets me like take his like work truck, or like his little, he has like just like a little truck along with all of his other cars. He'll let me take the truck and run to the post office, run my errands. So if I need to go by FedEx or UPS, check the PO box, go grab more packaging supplies, all that kind of stuff, he'll let me take his truck. So that's kind of what my week's looking like.
So I wanted to touch back on a couple things. You said go out to dinner. Do you, and then we had talked about this before, but I just got to bring it up again. You said you go out to dinner every night in LA?
Every night of the week.
Oh, that's so
7
crazy.
days a week. Yeah, I don't cook at home. I don't eat at home. I don't have snacks at home.
Not even snacks?
No, if you go into my fridge, recently I do have a couple things, right? But if you go into my fridge right now, you're looking at bottles of water, my immunity shots, my C1 Sen ones. Well, recently Costco hooked it up on the alkaline water, so I got a bunch of those big ass fucking bottles. But yeah, I don't have much in my fridge, dude. Like I don't have anything in the house. I eat out every day.
Oh my God, that doesn't even compute. Not even fucking snacks.
Yeah, no,
this dude's a machine.
If I have snacks, I munch them. And then when I'm working all day, I'm like fucking munching on chips and candy and all this shit. And I'm like, dude, I'm eating like a pig. So I usually only eat like something small in the mornings, like a Starbucks. I'll have like a little breakfast Sammy, and then I go to dinner, and that's really all I eat throughout the day. I mean, I'm not munching throughout the day at all.
Fucking A, that's so crazy.
My food
lifestyle right there.
Yeah, my food spending is absurd. I need to relax on it. I need to learn how to cook or get a chef at the house or something, because this is like ridiculous.
Or get a chef at the house.
Yeah, dude, that's actually a really big LA thing, is having like people have like chefs come, and I want to say some of them even do the grocery shopping. They do like the cleanup, all that kind of stuff, and it's like supposedly it's cheaper than eating out.
As far as an investment, that's kind of the way to go.
Yeah, and it's not like they're like there all day or anything. They just come to like cook you a meal and then they're out, so that's definitely something that I wanted to look into. But yeah, spending $5,000 a month on food is absurd. Like that, my food spending is disgusting. So
holy shit.
Yeah,
that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, so no, I need to chill out on the dinners for sure.
And then similarly to that, you had told me before that you're at all these Lakers games, but not only are y'all at all these games, but you're front row at all these Lakers games too?
I hate sitting in the back, dude. It's the worst. Like whenever I talk about shit like this, I sound so like, I don't know, like I don't want people to think like, oh fuck this guy, all he just talks about is money, blah blah blah. But when I go to Laker games, yes, I do usually sit pretty fucking close, and
and like so would you.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
If you worked for it, if you got into yourself at that position, so would fucking you, dude. Like,
yeah, totally. And if you like basketball like that, like it's the Lakers, bro. Like I mean, you're seeing if you guys go on my Instagram and you look at my Lakers highlight, right, you can see all the people that I've seen. So I've said what's up to fucking Lil Wayne, Young Thug, Gunna, Jake Paul, Machine Gun Kelly, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, like fucking The Game, fucking Corey Gamble, like the people are endless. Lil Baby, like I've seen everyone. If you go on my story, you can see everyone. And I have a specific clip on there, right, where Lil Wayne walks by and I was like, he like says what's up to The Game, which is sitting right in front of me, like says what's up to The Game, and then like he turns away and I was like, Wheezy baby, and like he like kind of turned for a second and was like, did that, and I got it on film, dude. That was like, he's like my hero. I love Lil Wayne since day one, you know, so seeing him and cool. Saying what's up to him was cool. And then there's like a video of me fist bumping Young Thug and then Gunna right after, and you know, so there's more to just the Laker games than basketball, and I'm not going there to see the celebrities. I genuinely love the basketball, but it's cool that you can go to a Laker game and you can see all these people, watch a good game, and when you sit where I sit, you get to like hear the players talk, and like, you know, I mean, I'm over here sitting 3 feet away. I could touch fucking Floyd Mayweather, and he has all of his bodyguards, the TMT or TM whatever, and they'll sit in the randomest places, like sometimes. So like there's courtside, and then there's the floor A and B, and then it's all the sections, right? So I usually sit on the floor, which is right behind courtside, and the price gap is like crazy. So the cheapest floor seat that you can get, like to be on the floor, is like, I think the cheapest one I've seen is like $7,000 per seat, right? And then the most expensive one, depending where it is like $30K.
Dude, we saw it. Allie and I were watching a game, and like Meg Thee Stallion was sitting courtside, and she bought a seat next to her for her fucking handbag.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
I was at that game. It was, unless we're talking about two different people, but it was Sweet.
You might have fucking showed me that, actually. Yeah. I think she bought
my
memories.
She bought a bag for her Birkin, or a seat for her Birkin, right? The little fucking. And it wouldn't surprise me if Megan did the same shit, because those bougie ass girls, dude, they're like,
that's hilarious.
They don't give a fuck, bro. Like the purse costs way more than both seats combined. So she's like, I'm just gonna get a fucking a bag, whatever. But anyways, Floyd Mayweather, like, so his people will sit like kind of next to me, either like in A or B, right? And Floyd will be in on the court. So it's like his security's there, but they're not there, you know, like, you know it's his security because they're all decked out in the gear and they're sitting all around him.
They're probably ginormous.
Oh, bro, especially because he's my size, bro. He's a tiny guy. Like, he is not big at all, right? So it's funny to see these big ass guards and how like he looks like he's at the game alone, but he really has like his team all there with him. But I'm over here sitting 3-4 feet away from him. I'm listening to LeBron and him like chopping it up, like just about random shit. Like it's crazy. Like when you're there, you can not only see these people, but like you can fucking hear them talk and like have conversations. Like LeBron's mid game. You can't
connect with on TV at all.
No shot. They don't show shit like that almost ever.
Damn. Yeah, that's so cool. That's one of my favorite things to do, is the next day after the game, listen to the mic'd up, and just like, I wish there was like a pay-per-view you could buy where it's like, instead of listening to commentators, you got to listen to all the mics around the field, like, or on the court, just because like I want to know what's going on. Like, I want to hear him yell out screens coming. I want to hear him yelling at the fucking teammate that just fucked up. I want to hear the coach yelling at him, because like, that's fucking tight. Yeah,
that is cool. Listening to the mic'd up shit's funny. Like, they're like talking to the refs and shit. Like, like fucking like I don't know. I always think that's so funny. They're like bitching the ref, and the ref's like, "Come on, bro! Like, you know he was a fucking foul, or you know it was a flag or whatever." And that mic'd up shit's hilarious.
Who's one person that stands out at the top of your head that you've sold to that's just like, whoa, I can't believe I'm selling something cool to this dude?
There's a couple people. Bobo, I think he plays for the Magic now, or it's either Magic or the Nuggets. I think the Magic. He bought from me recently, and he's like super, super cool, super nice, like straightforward, like just like, hey, I'll take that, and like he doesn't like bullshit, you know. Like sometimes when you're selling to a celebrity, like they'll they'll like want it, and like they'll like, it's like they're basically like, hey, that's mine, like I need that, like let me get it, you know.
Yeah.
And then they'll like take forever to respond, they'll take forever to send the payment. Bobo was like, tight bro, like send me your Zelle, I got you, and like sent it right over. So Bobo was cool. And his dad was fucking Manute Bol, so that like with one of the tallest NBA players ever. And so like I used to love that OG basketball shit. So seeing me sell to his son like that, it was cool.
How do you think he like found your page, or like how did you guys connect?
Sometimes like I want to ask that, but I don't want. I almost like sometimes feel weird to ask that, you know. But but every now and then like they'll be like, hey, like so and so sent me, you know, like let me whatever, you know. And so with some of the NBA players like that went to GU, that helped me out because my buddy Julian that plays on the team right now, he fucking which would be a good person to have on this podcast for sure. But he fucking buys from me all the time, right? He's buying Chrome hoodies, he's buying all sorts of shit. He messaged Chet and was like, hey, like check my boy out, blah blah blah. Like
you got the NBA money now too.
Yeah, literally. So Chet reached out, and Chet is one of the nicest motherfuckers, dude. Like him and I are talking like all fucking like randomly. He'll just hit me up and be like, "Yo, what do you got, bro? Send me what you got." What? And I'll send him a bunch of shit, and he'll be like, "Oh, that's all tight, blah blah blah." Like I'll take that, right? And he'll grab it, and then he makes it super easy on me. He Venmos like that, like he's super quick. And so Chet's buying from me right now like once a week. Like I mean, it's almost like he's sometimes twice a week. Like he'll like hit me up and I'll get a new shipment in, and then before I can even ship out the first item he bought, I get a new shipment in and he's already buying something else. And so I've hooked up Chet, but then Chet reached out to Josh Giddey, who also plays on OKC, and he also buys from me a bunch too. And it's funny how it all like kind of went down the line, but it definitely started with Julian. So shout out to my boy Julian for that one.
Fuck yeah, that's so tight. This is classic word of mouth, and if you got good product, and the world's gonna know.
100%.
Want to get a little hit of that.
Yeah, like, and then it was cool too because then not only did Josh like refer me to other people, right, but he referred me to his agent and then his like little sister. And so like it turned into like a family thing, right? So then they're all hitting me up, and his agent just bought something from me like 4 days ago, got his wife a wallet. Damn. And so it was cool how like it not only was like a celebrity to celebrity, but it was like a celebrity to like personal, like family / like business stuff, you know? So that was cool how he did that. Shout out to Josh. But yeah, those are definitely some celebrities that stood out. I've sold to a bunch of porn stars. LA, you guys know, has all the brazzers and all that, the porn shit, you know? So definitely sold to a bunch of porn stars. It's LA is crazy for sure. It's weird how like the connections work, you know, and I think that me living in LA that's like a huge advantage for me. Like I could run my business from Spokane if I wanted, like because I ship everything, and I don't do meetups. I don't meet up with people unless like you're like a celebrity or like we have mutual friends, right? So I don't meet up with anyone, but I could run it from Spokane. But then that takes away from like the meeting people and doing all that kind of stuff and getting to put a face to the name and all that kind of stuff to me, that's like where it's at, you know. And I'm able to go to a sneaker con and everyone's like, people are saying what's up and shit. Yeah. Like I love that. I love how people I get to like put a face to the name, especially because my business is all online, you know. I don't really see any of these people almost ever, you know. So being in LA, going to events, seeing all these people, I mean, that's perfect for me. That's why I like it so much.
Have you ever thought about opening up a shop and just having it all kind of in-house and online?
So my good buddy Devin, he owns these stores called The Liquor, and it's these big sneaker stores in LA. And LA it's like a franchise in a way, where The Liquor basically finds someone like Devin, like a sneaker reseller, like the Twin Sunset, and he's like, hey, you want to open up a store? I'll put my name on it. I will sign the lease. I'll do all that stuff. You fill the store with all your inventory, and then I'll take a cut, right? So that's what he does, and he has like 15 of them in LA. Well, my buddy Devin owns 2 of them, and he's talking about potentially here soon doing a fucking like a designer sneaker like resale store, right? And I have a shit ton of inventory right now. I want to have more, but he was actually who I was trying to get on the podcast, but his haircut was not appropriate. Apparently needs a haircut, so he couldn't come on. But him and I are thinking about maybe doing a store, but I don't know if that would be like soon, if that would be one of those like long-term goals. I don't know, but
Yeah.
definitely
That would
something
be
to talk
tight.
about.
That would put some, like you said, the faces to the names.
Oh, 100%.
Getting it a little more personable and stuff like that too.
100%. Yeah. And then what's cool too is one thing I think people struggle with, like for instance, you buy a pair of sneakers, right? You are pretty certain what that's going to be like. You've had a pair of shoes before. You've probably had a pair of Nikes, maybe not this expensive of a pair of Nikes, but you've still had like a pair of Nikes. Okay. So it's pretty universal, right? Versus designers have all these different, materials and textures and colorways and sizes. So like if you have a bag, right, in a picture, it might look like this, but then in person it might be this, and maybe you wanted a smaller one, maybe you wanted a bigger one, right? So to have someone to be able to touch and feel and be like, oh, I love the size of that, or I love the way that looks in person, I love that color, I think that'd be huge for me, because all they do is see pictures, and then like if they want to see more, I'll send them a video and try to get size comparisons and measurements and that kind of stuff. But I think that for someone to be able to like look at it in person and check it out, I think would be huge for my business especially.
And if you're going to be spending that type of money, you're going to want to fall in love with it instantly and not have any sort of regrets, or like you said, damn, I wish it was a little bit bigger, I wish it was a little bit smaller, because that's always going to be in the back of your head when you're trying to rock it. It's going to like have a little chip on your shoulder. So
100%.
yeah.
So having to people to be able to touch and feel, I think it would be money. So if we did a designer sneaker store, I mean, it would be fucking crazy. Like
That'd be tight.
The only one that exists is the Real Real, and the Real Real only sells designer for the most part, but they have like a lot of clothes, right? I want to have a store where it's like a fuckload of bags, like having 50 duffel bags, 50 crossbody bags, 500 wallets, like 200 pairs of shoes, like, you know what I mean? It'd be a one-stop shop.
Get your full fit and accessories.
I mean, everything. It'd be, and we wouldn't just have that. We'd have like a like maybe how Kith does, where they make milkshakes, or have like a TV and like a little gaming setup for people that like just want to chill while like other people are shopping, or maybe like a cool little kick it spot for the parents while the kids shop.
Experience.
Yeah, it'll be a full thing, and we'll have like some of the exotic like snacks and chips and drinks, so maybe someone just wants to get some exotic candy or something that day instead of coming to spend $500 on a bag or a pair of shoes, so it'll have everything in it. And I'm giving you guys all my ideas right now, so whatever, but it's definitely something that we want to do, and I think that it's definitely possible. So
believe it or not many people can just go out and do that, so I think you're good.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, no, it's cool. So maybe me and Devin will do that. You guys be on the lookout. I'll definitely be posting about it. He was talking about going to look at some spaces actually right before, because he came to this trip with me in Spokane. So we were talking about like when we got back, like getting a dinner and sitting down and being like, hey, like, you really want to do this? You want to go check out some locations?
Yeah, 'cause that's a big investment, and like it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of risk.
Yeah,
it's going to take effort and drive, but at the end of the day, it's an investment. It's another dream, and I think that'd be fucking sick.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I'm definitely wanting to do it, and that to me is like I wouldn't say the end game, but that to me is like the pinnacle of reselling, right? So you resell, maybe do a little bit in person, maybe you transition to an online presence, and then after you're getting to physical brick and mortar, and that's like where, like, that's like, you know what I mean? That's the tip top.
Then you can have like Floyd Mayweather buy out the store for the day and just fucking come in, and
that'd be sick, dude. Yeah, tight. Selling to celebrities is cool. My buddy has a shop, I think it's the Showroom LA. And he sells to like literally nothing but celebrities, and I think that's so fucking sick. Like, I admire that so much, because like I love selling to like anyone and everyone, right? But I also like, I think it's cool to outfit these celebrities and see them on there when the paparazzi are taking photos and they got your shit, or
oh, I gave him that hat.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I think that shit is so cool. So like the homie that runs the Showroom in LA, I think what he does is fucking sick. I really like that a lot.
Tight. I think you're on your way, man.
Appreciate
it's
that.
Good.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, a lot of trial and error, and yeah, you got to figure out what works for you. And that's actually one thing people ask me all the time too, is how did you get where you are? How did you get where you are? This and that. Like, can you give me some tips, because I'm starting my own business, right? And it's simple, but it's complex, but it's simple at the end of the day, right? So it's basically like tons of trial and error to figure out what works for you, what you're able to sell, what you're able to get your hands on, and then what like you like. So I usually buy stuff that I like. So if I personally would either wear it or if I can appreciate it, then I'm usually going to buy it, because that I think that that's what sells the best, right? You know, so I think lots of trial and error and just building those relationships, and building that online presence. I think that's one of the hardest parts. If you're trying to be a reseller, building your online presence is fucking huge, you know? So using TikToks, using Reels, using YouTube, using fucking anything you can to build that online presence, I think is where you got to start. Cause I think that was one of the toughest parts for me, is just getting established, you know, and building that, like the Oracle page, you know, like just building that was the hardest part for sure.
So from having the dream and having this vision and that first day where you decided you want to start chasing this dream, from that very, very, very beginning point to where you had that realization of like, fuck, like I think I've made it. How long was that window of just like trying and trying and trying and failing and trying and seeing some taste of success? And like, how long did it take to actually get to where you wanted to be when you very first started?
Well, I think when I first started selling Supreme, like I'd get it on the drop and then I'd sell it for a little bit more. I think that's when I realized that I wanted to do this like forever. So I guess you could say it started there, but I didn't really take it seriously until probably 2019. So a year after I graduated is when I started like actually like grind. And then 2020 is when I think I moved to LA. And then that's when like I had to take it serious, because I had to fucking pay the bills, you know, and my rent's $5,000. Like I gotta fucking find some way, you know? So I think setting your life up for challenges, I think, is what makes you succeed, because instead of facing the challenges when you get there, setting your life up for challenges makes you fight through the adversity, fight through the hardship to be able to make it work, you know? So I think that moving to LA was huge, because yeah, it's expensive as fuck and the lifestyle is expensive, and like LA will weed you out very quickly if you're not willing to grind and if you're not willing to work, you know? So I think that us throwing ourselves into LA, even though if we didn't really know if it would work, I think that is what made it. So yeah, like 2 years was probably like that window from like throwing ourselves into it to like being established and now looking into like doing more like a store or like putting up down payment on a house or, you know, something like that. Like that's definitely like been the time frame, about 2 years.
Hell yeah. 2 years. That's right on the money.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it takes I would say it takes anyone 2 years. I mean, at least. Yeah. It for me, it happened relatively quickly, I think, because of the team I had around me. You know, like we had such a good process and we had so many connections, and they introduced me to so many people that it did happen relatively quick, right? But there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that went on for years. You know, I mean, washing dishes for an entire retirement home. Not like, this isn't like old people where we're talking like a fucking whole ass like hotel full of fucking old people washing their dentures and shit are on there. It's all gross as fuck. Like, I mean, there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and I was doing that to be able to buy more shit and to try to resell it, you know? And so it's so much trial and error, and it's so much just like willing to fight through the adversity and just not take no for an answer, you know? Like I'm super anti like no, I'm not taking no for an answer. If I want something, like if I'm trying to get something or do something, I'm gonna fucking make it happen, and I'm gonna do anything it fucking takes. I'm gonna just grind until I can make it happen, you know? It's in my blood. That's what I got to do.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's very well said, and it fucking shows, man.
I appreciate it.
Seeing the success is really encouraging. I told you that one of my goals is to be fucking shopping with you and within 2 years of like this journey. So I'm fucking super stoked. That really is written it down and everything of like my goal is to be able to fucking come shop with Oracle.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking big. You're a huge inspiration. You're a success story already. You're just a fucking kid still. It's fucking cool to see just fucking kid from Spokane living it big and living lavish, and
I appreciate it.
Tight.
You're like one of the only people in Spokane. Like you and Johnny are probably the only two people that I would say like a lot of people are chasing dreams, and I'm not going to knock anyone, and that's that. But I think you and Johnny are the two that are actually like doing something big and are gonna blow up or get there or whatever. Like, yeah, Johnny's a little bit established right now or whatever, but like I think both of you two are like gonna fucking like do big things. And I'm not just saying that because we're on a podcast and you're my friend, but I think that's like an actual fact. And so, yeah, I always love seeing my boys eat, and it's cool to see you guys just doing big things, especially because I think that doing something big in Spokane is very fucking hard, like very hard. So I respect anyone trying to make it in Spokane because this shit's tough as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you did it. You kind of showing the way and motivating. And so, yeah, all it takes is fucking hard work, a dream, and some dedication and getting after it.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
Well, I think this is a good wrapping up point. Why don't you look at the main camera and tell them where they can find you and what you got on deck, any big things coming up that they can look forward to seeing.
Okay. So I'm going to do a quick rundown of shouting everybody out, right? So I talked about a lot of people. I want to make sure everyone gets in there, and I'll get the Instagrams to you so you can do your little drop ship or whatever. Yeah. But so first off, we got Isaiah, the one I said that knows everything about fashion, anything you can think of, does the vintage, does all that stuff. Shout out to him for sure. And then next we have the twin Sunset sneakers. I owe a shit ton of success that I've had for myself to them. They're a huge inspiration. They've introduced me to a million people. I cannot thank them enough for everything. So they're Sunset sneakers. Oh yeah, the first one, Isaiah, is Black State Co. So he'll have them all right here. And then we have Tia and Anastasia. They have the Sneak City in Seattle. Amazing sneaker store, amazing people. Again, I owe her a ton of credit for everything. I do really appreciate her. And then, am I forgetting anybody? I think last but not least, my page, Auraicle, Auraicle. I sell designer. I can get you designer. I can find and source anything that you're looking for, any specific pieces, any colorways, any shoes, any of that kind of stuff, it's retaining to designer. So I have it all. I can get it all. Everything is 1,000,000% authentic. Everything's fucking, it's legit. And I'll hook you up. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. And let's do this again soon.
All right. Thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. Thanks, brother.